Ricky Rudd did to us in California.
That's right.
At the end of the day, we said, where did he come from?
Came all the way up to third.
Hey, yeah, he finished third, and I mean, like, where'd he come from?
Where's Waldo? Where's the leader? Jimmy Johnson at 181 laps, 7/10 of a second. Up on Dale Earnhardt Jr., Matt Kenseth, Ricky Craven, and Mark Martin.
And one winner of 3 Sports Emmy Awards for Outstanding Live Series. Graphic design and technical achievement. You're watching NASCAR on Fox.
At the Lowe's Motor Speedway north of Charlotte, 187 laps complete. We're 13 laps from halfway in stock car racing's longest day. The Coca-Cola Racing Family 600. Pole sitter Jimmy Johnson has gone back to the lead. He's pretty much dominated. He's led 114 laps. Ricky Rudd
right now,
has led 49 laps, and 5 other drivers have led briefly. We've had 6 caution flags for a total of 26 laps.
The guy's a car that is in trouble right now. Robbie Gordon, he was in the top 10 not too many laps ago. He just got passed by Kyle Petty for 16th. We're hearing that he thinks he has a flat tire. See Bill Elliott go by him. That's for the 17th position. He's just hanging out there hoping to get a caution. Right now, he's about a half a lap behind the leader.
But Larry, he doesn't have a flat tire. When you get tired, when you get really tired and you're exhausted, the car, everything feels like the car doesn't handle good. You can't stay on top of the steering wheel. You just don't feel, the car doesn't feel good to you. But it's not the car's fault. It's probably the driver's fault. They need to make a driver change.
Ricky Rudd fighting his way back toward the front, goes past Jeff Gordon. That is for 8th place. Steve Burns.
Yeah, Mike, he's trying to fight his way back up. When he pitted on lap 163, they had a lug nut hang on the right front. It got cross-threaded, slowed their stop down. He's back up now in the 8th position.
The way this sport has gone, you need a perfect night to win. Little things, little small mistakes can rob you of a chance to be in contention for victory.
Well, you run everything right to the limit. Then when you get behind, you take it over the limit. So you drive a little harder to catch back up. You've used equipment just a little bit more, and you got these things right on the verge of, you don't have them on kill, but you got them real close to it.
As the sun gets low in the sky, NASCAR has just approved an 8th ban over the wall. Normally only 7 are allowed, to service the driver and to clean the windshield.
And one reason they wait into the race to do it is they try to wait till there's a few cars that's a lap down, where in the beginning, when everybody pits, you won't have 43 extra guys on pit road. It's sort of a safety measure. But yeah, pushing the limit, Darrell, they do it. I mean, you just think about everything going on a pit stop. 20 lug nuts off, 20 lug nuts on, dumping almost 22 gallons of fuel. A lot of things happening on pit road on a pit stop.
Dave Blaney running 13th. One of his team's fabricators, Jeff Foltz, won the ARCA race here as part of Summer Speed Week at Lowe's Motor Speedway.
I like his flames a lot. I love those flames. One thing to paint them on your car, it's something else when they come out the pipes like that.
But you know, guys, he's been fast for a week and a half here. He was fast in a lot of the Winston practices. He was very fast in practice on Thursday. He just didn't get that qualifying run that he wanted. Started back in 14th, but he's been hanging right there in the top 15 halfway this whole first half of this race.
Ever since California, he's really had that car. They've come together as a team. Him and his crew chief have started to communicate really well. He's gotten to running better and better and better.
Bobby Labonte pulling down on Dave Blaney. Terry's younger brother, Bobby, both past Winston Cup champions. And earlier in this race, Bobby Labonte has a get-together with Mark Martin. Been in the right front of Bobby Labonte's car.
But he came to pit road several times. Jimmy May car in that group, they just kept working on it. They didn't panic, and now he's on the lead lap, worked his way all the way back up to the 15th position.
But it's been a tough day for the Labonte family. Bobby's father-in-law, Donna's father, Don Slate, passed away unexpectedly this morning, leaving his wife of 50 years, Bertha, and 3 children, Donna, Rodney, and Rusty. Our condolences to the entire family, and Bobby Labonte racing here tonight with a heavy heart. Here's a driver who has shown a lot of patience in this race, Michael Waltrip, who presently is 6th.
A lot of confidence coming in. He thought he was going to qualify better than he did. He really felt good about this whole weekend. He qualified outside pole for the Busch race. I think that running that Busch race yesterday has really helped him tonight because that car is very consistent. It's been in the top 10 ever since the race started. Currently running in 6th place. Michael's doing a good job tonight. I'm proud of him.
Tony Stewart locked up in a battle with Kurt Busch and Jeff Gordon. All three of them are about 12 seconds off of the lead. Jimmy Johnson at 196 laps, 4 laps from halfway, and he's led 123 of them. The rookie dominating here in Charlotte.
Most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And by Pizza Hut, home of the Insider Pizza.
Oh, Sterling is waltzing.
202 laps complete. We are just past halfway in NASCAR's longest race, the Coca-Cola Racing Family 600. Here's our Coors Light race recap at halfway. Pole sitter Jimmy Johnson leading most of the first 106 laps. Ricky Rudd leads for 49 laps. And 3/4 of the field are still on the lead lap. And Jimmy Johnson has just led the last 39 laps in a row for a total of 130 out of 203 laps.
Boy, this right here, just look at that. 49 car just ran Dale Jr. right up into the outside wall.
That's Ron Hornaday Jr. in that car.
He's just going by him on the outside. He's making a clean pass here. All of a sudden, the 49. Oh, I see what happened. The 49 got loose. Probably trying to get down out of his way. Tried to cut it to the bottom, and it jumped out from under him. I'm sure Jr. wasn't happy about that.
After it bounces off the wall, Darrell, what is Junior concerned about?
Oh, everything goes through your mind, and the car may not drive as well now because what happens? You knock the toe. When you hit the wall like that, you'll toe the right front end, and the car will not drive the same. One thing we may hear from his radio is his steering wheel straight. You can see a little damage to the right front fender. The steering wheel is that tells the driver what happened. If it's towed in, he'll have the wheel held. See how he's holding the wheel to the left? Well, that's in the turn there. Let's see where the steering wheel is.
All clear.
That thing, it looks fine. A driver likes to see that steering wheel about that angle right there.
So, Larry, what's the first thing you ask the driver after he bounces off the wall like that?
I'm going to ask him, well, what is it driving like? And then I'm going to ask him exactly what Darrell's talking about. Is the steering wheel still centered? Matt Yoakum, what are they saying? What are they asking him?
Well, Tony Eury Jr., the car chief on the 8, told me that Dale Jr. told him the car is towed out. He says now the car is not handling well. It is pushing a little bit. The car is towed out.
Now, Larry, when it's towed out, what's it going to do to those tires?
What that means is, we're talking about tow out. We're talking about the difference measured across the front of the front tires versus the rear of the front tires. And you'll run about 1/8 of an inch. And what that does, that gives stability for the car getting in the corner. If it knocks it in, knocks it way in, it will make the car not turn. It'll push. Now, I'm going to show you the tow out animation right here. And it's normally the right front. See how much that wheel's towed out right there? And what you do, if they can get to pit stop, they'll go in there and they'll adjust it. And it's adjusted with a tie rod right here. And you'll just loosen 2 bolts and adjust it. There it is, the 2 bolts. And you'll turn that thing and you'll have strings on it to get you back as close as you can to try to get that car to drive better.
Yeah, and Mike, actually, if it's towed out, that's the best thing that can happen to you. If it's towed in, you can't drive it. It'll eat the tire off the right front. It doesn't hurt it so bad if it's towed out, as long as it's not wild. And it just takes him a few laps to get adjusted to what the car's doing, and he'll drive a different line.
And normally when you hit the wall, as Dale Earnhardt Jr. did, you will knock the toe in more.
Normally.
Our leader's Jimmy Johnson at 208 laps. He's now got a 6.5-second lead on Mark Martin.
Jimmy, how hard are you driving it right now, bud? Trying to find my groove again. The tires just fell off and on, so searching a little right now. I'm trying. I mean, I'm not quite qualified enough, but I've got a good pace going. 10-4, I wasn't trying to push you. I'm just working on some fuel mileage numbers. No, 10-4, I understand.
All right, now, Jeff, I know my driver buddy up here, Darrell. I make him nervous when I start talking about fuel mileage and we're just halfway. But as a crew chief, you have to do it because, Darrell, you talked about it in the beginning. The middle of the race, everybody settles down, green flag runs. And what Chad's trying to figure out, Jeff, can he make it on 2 more stops after pitting on lap 165, or is it going to take 3 more stops? By my calculations, it looks like 3 more pit stops. Should we stay green?
Larry, you're exactly right. That's what I've got down here right now, at least at the pace that I'm seeing. They're keeping up. They're still running pretty quick. And I think it's, it's pretty savvy right there for Chad Canals to be that heads up about what's going on. He's already starting to do his strategy on the future part of what's going to happen in this race. And I'm very impressed with the way Jimmy Johnson has really got himself settled down in that pace. We talked about it earlier, that you want to pace yourself and not use up too much during this first 500 miles and have a little extra kick for the end.
And it can catch you off guard as a crew chief. It's really mind-boggling here figuring fuel mileage, because faster speeds mean you're running faster, you're using more fuel. If a car starts pushing, Darrell, it's bound up, and you'll use more fuel because the car's not turning.
What I like about Jimmy Johnson, what I've heard in his voice as a driver, very calm, not excited, and like he was on a really smooth ride right now. What do you got, Matt?
Well, DW, you're exactly right. He's not pushing it around right now, just riding. Chad Canals does know how this race usually plays out. He has 2 victories here in this event with Jeff Gordon when he used to be a Rainbow Warrior. In the final practice session Saturday, they tried a lot of different things. Then they went back to their setup in the morning session, but they do know how to adjust this car through the night. Right now, Jimmy is saying the car is loose on entry, loose in the center, and loose up off. They're probably going to pit in around 18 to 20 more laps.
Putting a lap on Kenny Schrader. Let's look back for the second-place car. That is the Jack Roush Ford, number 6, Batesville, Arkansas's Mark Martin. We've talked about today, Memorial Day weekend, being a weekend to celebrate the American family. Dick Berggren has a great family story on this car.
Last year at this same event, we told you the story of Tara Parker. She is the wife of Sean Parker, car chief for Kurt Busch. Despite her youth, this last year at this same time, Tara needed a heart transplant. She's gotten the heart transplant. She's with us tonight. She has brought her physician. How fortunate are you to be here? How fortunate are you to be here?
I am very, very fortunate to be here today. Thanks to the Lord above and my good doctor here, Dr. Tom Wannenberg. It's the main reason I am here today. He diagnosed and decided that I needed a transplant, and thank goodness that he did, because I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for this guy right here.
And the smile says it all, Mike Joy.
Thank you, Dick. Sean Parker was on Mark Martin's team last year. Over the winter, they switched crews completely. Mark Martin and teammate Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch now, who restarted 16th at lap 168. After a bad pit stop, there you see 16th. He has climbed up onto the leaderboard.
He's been to the back twice. He started there and then spun out on lap 10, was back there again. If he can ever get there, Darrell, I think he'll be another contender for the night.
He knows how to win.
Lowe's Motor Speedway. Don't forget, right after today's race on Fox, special extended post-race coverage for you on the Speed Channel. Right after we go off the air, you can switch over to the Speed Channel for more interviews and race analysis. And if you're not getting the Speed Channel, simply call 1-888-22-SPEED. That's 1-888-22-SPEED. Extended post-race coverage always on the Speed Channel. With Jeff Hammond, Chris Myers back in the Hollywood Hotel, and Robbie Gordon after finishing 8th at Indy, going a lap down here. Jimmy Johnson has led the most of the laps. By the way, drivers who have led the most laps have failed to win 11 of the last 14 races, and we still have 178 laps to go here. But let's talk about Jack Roush Racing, because he has 2 drivers among the top 3, and Mark Martin and Matt Kenseth, Jeff. And Roush Racing, they've won 4 of the last 7 Lowe's Motor Speedway races, and they've won actually the last 3.